Yo, what's up, y'all? What's going on? It's Roots to Grooves, baby. Yeah. We're hyped out here. I'm Jesse. That's Jay. We're Roots to Grooves.
Welcome along, everybody.
Yeah.
100 and something episodes.
Going stronger than ever.
Stronger than ever.
We're hyped.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about? We're talking about Eliza.
Eliza, formerly known as Doolittle.
Eliza Doolittle.
But she done a lot, but she did not do little.
Oh, Eliza done a lot.
Starting with the puns already.
Pretty cheese.
This actually, I didn't tell you yet, Jesse, but this is a listener suggestion.
Oh, very nice.
From our YouTube viewer, Candace Banks. She dropped a comment on our Cleo Soul episode. She said, "Love this. You mentioned things I was hoping you'd get to, even down to Joe Barton's praises. Very well researched." Thank you.
Props. Cadence? Candace?
Candace Banks, yeah.
Candace Banks, thank you for the comment.
Yeah.
And thank you for the suggestion.
And I just messed that up. She didn't suggest that, but she left a comment.
Never mind, I take back the thank you.
It was actually another YouTube viewer, Aisha Sowa, she goes by on YouTube. She said you guys should do Eliza Doolittle next.
Nice. Thanks, Aisha.
Yeah. So, well, thanks to both of you. Yeah. Sorry, Candace, you didn't mention that, but but she said we were very well researched. So.
Hey, we do our best.
And I'm very unprepared.
It's all right though. That's how we do this show.
Yeah, yeah.
We just learn about the artist, and then we talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, we're not the encyclopedia of each individual artist. We're just a couple of guys who love music.
Yeah.
And like to talk about it.
Yeah.
And learn about it and see what we can
Yeah.
gain from it.
Or we can glean from mindset, creative inspiration, career inspiration, how you navigate the world of music.
It's powerful stuff,
Yeah,
as we found here on this show.
Yeah. Yeah, I learned so many good things. And it's funny, each episode, there's always some new nugget of information or whatever. And
A lot of nuggets.
a lot of nuggets. And hopefully we'll find some through Eliza, who is a British singer, songwriter.
32
artist.
years old.
Yeah. From London. Yeah.
London town.
Yeah. We'll talk about it a bit later, but she's had a bit of an interesting career, right? She started kind of as a pop artist.
Yeah, was signed to a label.
Yeah.
Just kind of doing the label thing, following instructions.
Yeah.
Cookie cutter,
Yeah. Yeah.
placeholder.
Yeah.
And then she broke free of that, wanted to
Yeah.
relabel herself,
Yeah.
rebrand herself, I should say,
Yeah.
as Eliza,
Yeah.
and kind of started anew.
Yeah.
Anew, like one word, not like I can't finish my sentence.
Anew.
Anew what?
Started anew.
Anew what?
A new path.
Yeah, started a new path.
Yeah, so if you go on, like, I didn't look at the other music platforms, but if you go on Spotify, she has 2 profiles. So you can find her old stuff under Eliza Doolittle and then her new stuff just under Eliza. Yeah.
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 So, I mean, it definitely makes me think of Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah, there were so many. I was like, where did Doolittle come from? Apparently,
Eddie Murphy.
well, yeah, there's that. There's also, what's the guy from Iron? Oh, is it Iron Man?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he
Robert
did.
Downey Jr., he did a Doolittle film.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It was like a sequel.
I don't know what it was. I heard they spent billions of dollars on it and it only made like $2 back or something. Apparently it was a major flop.
I did not see it. Yeah.
But that's all
I'm not
about
gonna see it.
a professor that talks to animals, right? That's the
Yeah.
thing.
That's the original Dr. Doolittle, too. So I'm not sure if.
But then also Eliza Doolittle is a character from My Fair Lady.
Mm-hmm.
And as we'll talk about that, Eliza's theater connections kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
And we haven't said, so she's doing like R&B stylings,
yeah.
kind of sparse instrumentation, real chill.
Yeah,
She's a great vocalist. That's her main thing.
Yeah.
And that's really prominent in all her music. That's the main focus, basically.
Yeah.
And then with this new rebrand as Eliza, she's kind of taken this new direction where she's more in charge of the, production a little bit.
Yeah.
She's not playing all the instruments and stuff, but just the songwriting and the general vibe. She has a little bit more control.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, yeah, just finish the sentence right there. But it's good. What would you call it?
Yeah.
Her music.
Sparse R&B, neo soul.
Minimalist.
Yeah. Alternative R&B.
Just, rhythm and blues.
Yeah, right.
Funky little bass and drums.
Yeah.
Kind of grooving.
Yeah.
Giving a good backbeat for her awesome vocals.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And her real full name is Eliza Sophie Caird, by the way. It's either Card or Caird. Caird. Don't know.
Either way, what do you think? Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments.
So, yeah, she has 2 albums out
Yeah, of her new stuff.
of her new Eliza stuff.
And I think she has like 2 from her previous
Yeah.
incarnation as well. And she also dropped like recently like an album that's called Sketches and Remixes of her previous album that was in 22, I think that album came out. So that's kind of cool, just letting it out there.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Yeah, and so I guess like she did like top the singles charts in her previous career. So she got big in 2010. So that was like that was after I left UK. So I'm sure if I was in the UK, I might have heard of her. Like,
Right.
you know, there's like a big pop artist at the time, sort of thing.
I've never heard of her. Speaking of which,
Okay. Yeah.
Jay brought this one to the table from Elia,
Yes.
like we said, but I've never heard of Eliza.
Yeah. Aisha. Sorry.
Aisha.
Oh my God.
Aisha, we
Get
got
the
you.
program.
Hey, I just heard your name for the first time today, so I don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
But we do appreciate you.
Yeah, and what was I going to say? Train of thought. Oh my gosh.
Was it a bullet train or more
no.
like a freight train?
Actually, no, it was that song that we opened the show up with, Wasn't Looking. I had heard that before. I think I played it on a drop episode when it came out, like last year or something like that.
That was the first track
Yeah.
that I heard from Eliza.
Right. Yeah.
Upon starting to do my research.
Right.
The top song on Spotify, so you always got to start right there.
It's good, yeah. And it's sparse, but it's like, yeah, it's cool. It's,
Very sparse, a lot of room,
Yeah.
very chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, her vocals are good. I mean, it's feel good stuff. She's inspired by like Elia.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said Elia. I think I was already
There you go. You're already thinking about it. Yep.
India Ari,
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill,
Yeah.
Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some classic people in there.
Yeah, definitely. Let's spin another track. Yeah. And then we'll do the quote of the day.
Yeah.
I liked how you did it last time where you were like, we'll do that. That's like a good format. And then
I like it too.
And then we'll get into Eliza. This is why it's Elia, Aisha, Eliza.
We're getting
Oh my God. Okay.
All right, we're gonna take a break, listen to some dope tunes, and get these names straight.
Right. Alone and Unafraid was the name of that track from Eliza's debut album as Eliza, A Real Romantic from 2018. Not her debut album though, but her debut album as Eliza. Yeah, great. I get some little bit of Janet Jackson vibes in there, but like low-key Janet Jackson. Like,
Yeah, it's like, low key is a way to say it, but still got that poppy,
yeah.
kind of upbeat groove going.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But just real subdued.
Yeah.
Subdued Jackson.
Speaking of which, quote of the day.
Here we go. Favorite segment of the show.
This comes from Aretha Franklin, because Eliza's a big fan of Aretha Franklin. And Aretha said, "Be your own artist and always be confident in what you're doing. If you're not going to be confident, you might as well not be doing it."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good quote.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Even if you're messing something up, just keep messing it up confidently.
Do it confidently. And if all the naysayers are like, "Yeah, we don't like this," or whatever, it's like, as long as you own it and you do it confidently and you believe in it, and you believe in yourself.
Yeah, and block them on all social media when they say stuff like
do
that.
that as well, yeah. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, so big fan of Aretha Franklin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think she was saying, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Eliza
Yeah.
and her early influences of music.
Yeah.
And Aretha Franklin was one, I think she said she listened to the greatest hits album of Aretha, which was like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So that love of music started pretty early.
Yeah. And it was that track Respect, I think, that really popped out for her.
RESPECT.
Yeah. It always sounds wrong when I spell it out, but she nails it in the song with the lyrics. RESP.
What if she spelled it wrong in the song?
Yeah.
That would have been embarrassing.
That would have been, funny. Or it's like correct the first verse, wrong the second verse.
Yeah. You're like, dang.
That's a good film as well. I think there was a film, I think I might have seen it. The Aretha Franklin movie.
What was it called?
Respect.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. Also, Eliza said, because she was asked in that interview if she'd seen that film. She said she hadn't, but apparently there was a film that I think was called Grace that was maybe done in the mid to late 70s, and it's just Aretha Franklin performing with like a choir in a church or something like that. That sounds powerful. I have to track that down on YouTube or something.
Yeah, Respect. We got to add that to the movie list for our musical movie night that we're never going to do.
Yeah. Well,
we're going to do it eventually.
eventually, we'll do it in VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
and
Zoom.
everyone can join. But yeah. And so Eliza, she's born in London, right? Camden.
London town.
Take us back in time. Jesse, do you have anything?
What do we, just generally?
Generally, her early years or anything like that?
I mean, like I said, she loved music from the beginning.
Right.
But her parents were artistic folks.
Yeah.
Which I think tells the story about how she kind of got into the arts.
Yeah.
Her father is a theater director.
Yeah.
And her mother was, she was an actress, right?
Her mother, singer and actress.
Yeah. And she would do like plays.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I think she did, I don't know how to say it, Les Miserables.
Yeah.
You know?
Les Miserables.
Les Mis.
Blah, blah, blah. Les Mis. Just say Les Mis.
Yeah, it sounds cool like that.
Yeah, her dad.
I think that's how they met, the parents as well, doing a play.
Yeah. It was doing Les Mis, I think they met.
There it was, yeah.
And her dad, Jonathan, I think, he's big. Like, I was looking at his Wikipedia page. He directed Daniel Day-Lewis in Shakespeare. Like, he's at that level of...
That's the top.
Like, exactly. And he has this whole thing. He's won Tony Awards and Laurence Olivier Awards. So, and her mum was an actress and a singer. She represented England UK in the Eurovision Song Contest in 1994. Do you know much about the Eurovision Song Contest over here?
No.
So it's like a massive thing in Europe. Like every country in Europe represents. They nominate a singer to represent the country, and then they go and perform the song, kind of thing. And it's kind of like an Olympics where they vote on the songs until they find a winner. And then whoever the winner is, like say Estonia wins this year, then the next year that Estonia hosts the event, kind of thing.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's always been a bit hit or miss. It's been a weird thing. They had a lot of bad, cheesy things. Like for the amount of great music that comes out of UK, they usually pick like the worst kind of song to represent the country in the Eurovision Song Contest. Although I think Adele had done it one year. That's like probably the best kind of representation.
She won it one year?
I'm not sure if she won. She might have done. She represented the country though.
Okay.
And yeah, so Eliza's mum did this in 1904. I don't know if she won. I don't think she did. She didn't win. And there's a clip of her on YouTube. Did you see this clip?
I don't think I did.
It's from. I'll just play you a little bit of it. It's a funky harpsichord song.
That's her?
Yeah, that's Eliza's mum. They look a lot alike.
Yeah, it looks like her.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just wait for it to get the chorus because I sort of kind of recognized it.
And though my heart is broken, my picture is forgotten, but I still believe that I can see a piece of me reflecting in your eyes. We will be free.
Yeah, there you go.
They're both babes for sure.
Yeah. Frances Ruffell is her mum's name.
Frances
Frances, yeah.
Ruffell.
Actress as well. She's been in a few things. She was in the Les Mis movie for a moment, I think. She was credited in there.
Okay. All these people love Les Mis.
They do, yeah.
I think Eliza was in Les Mis too.
Yeah, in 2001, I think I saw that.
Yeah, so she was following in her, mother's footsteps.
Yeah, yeah.
And vocal steps.
Vocal steps, yeah. So, yeah, artistic family. But it doesn't stop there, artistic family. Do you hear about Eliza's grandmother?
I don't know about the grandmother. No.
Sylvia Young. She's a massive name in the UK because she formed a drama school called the Sylvia Young Drama School, I think. Mm-hmm. Two of the people that went to that school, Amy Winehouse and Emma Bunton, a.k.a. Baby Spice from the Spice Girls. And also, like, it's the school like where a lot of sort of British TV actors have gone to, kind of thing. A lot of those actors show up on like TV shows, soap operas in the UK, and dramas and stuff like that. And then a couple singers as well. Yeah, because it's like a full-rounded drama and music kind of school, sort of thing.
That's cool. I mean, that's cool that Amy Winehouse comes up because I was going to draw some comparisons to her early Eliza Doolittle days.
For sure.
Some of that kind of doo-woppy 50s influenced contemporary pop.
Yeah.
With like, modern vocals.
Yeah. Definitely.
Kind of vibe like a little, Meghan Trainor's done that, you know.
Joy Crooks, a little bit.
A little bit of that. It comes up. It's a cool vibe. It's not my favorite vibe personally, but it's out there and people like it.
I'm a little dubious about that vibe because I feel like a lot of people were doing it because Amy Winehouse did it.
I think she did it like kind of the best.
Yeah.
And it felt the most true.
Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, well, if you want to be a soul singer and you're from Britain, let's do the Amy Winehouse do thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. When I listened to the Eliza Doolittle stuff, it sounded a little bit, contrived.
Well, let's play a little snippet of that because this is Eliza Doolittle, one of her hits when she was a pop star kind of thing.
I get tired and upset, and I'm trying to less. When I'm Google, I only get depressed. I was taught to dodge those issues. I was told, don't worry.
Yeah.
It's no doubt.
I don't care for that little diddle thing, like the Tom and Jerry sound effect in the background. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't really care for any of that vibe at all. Like, no offense.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, it's fine. It's a song, but it's as we'll talk about how this came together, because knowing how it came together and how she feels about it also makes me like not really be into it. But just the song itself, that vibe, that whole album is that album, self-titled Eliza Doolittle. That was one of the biggest tracks. Pack Up. They did a music video and all that for it. But yeah, the whole album's that sort of vibe. Like, I hate to say it, but the Amy Winehouse ripoff vibe,
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Bit. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. But so I guess what happened musically for her, she grew up, in this artistic household. She was always hanging out at the theater, seeing like rehearsals, she said, with her dad and all that. So she was always surrounded by the performing aspect. And then when she was a teenager, I think she started getting into UK garage music.
Yeah.
From like her brother would always like be bringing home stuff. And so like you said, like she was into like the sort of pop stuff of Janet Jackson and all that, Aaliyah, and then a little bit on the more soulful front. I think like you said, Lauryn Hill, she mentioned India Irie, who's a little bit more out there soul. And then a lot of UK garage kind of thing. But she's always like been writing her music since she was young, right? She said
I think she started writing when she was 12 or 13, she said.
Yeah, and it's just like something she felt she always had to do and what she wanted to do kind of thing.
Yeah.
And all that leads up to like she started working on some demos with this guy Jimmy Napes. Apparently when they were both teenagers, they would always work on music together. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I was just gonna say now he's made a name for himself.
Yeah, he's massive
now too, so he's doing huge things.
Yeah, he's done stuff for Sam Smith, Mary J. Blige. He's won Grammys. He's like an established like pop music producer, songwriter, I think.
Yeah.
Now.
So,
but yeah, it was a demo CD that he did with Eliza, and that apparently got the attention of her management, or what became her management.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what.
Yeah.
I thought in an interview she said she got the attention of who's now her manager, or at that time who was the manager at the time of her early career.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not sure how she got that connection.
Yeah.
I was interested in that. I don't know if you know anything about that.
I don't know how, but let's face it, she comes from like a really established artistic family.
Right.
Like,
So I feel like there's at least a little bit of some connections there.
Yeah, like her grandmother's school is like the established drama school in England. Like, it's a big deal. Her dad's a big deal. Like, working with these top-notch actors.
Yeah, so people knew who she was.
Yeah, yeah.
And she knew who they were.
Yeah.
She knew who she was.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Yeah, and so she got this management deal, and then I think the management deal got her the record deal.
Yeah, so she got signed. Yeah,
and then Jimmy produced, I think, a lot of those tracks. I don't think he was the only person involved in her debut album, but he was definitely part of it. Because so she said she signed this deal, and she was like, really young, and she sort of signed it with wide eyes, thinking, oh, big record deal. But then she didn't really know what she was signing up for, she said, in hindsight, kind of thing.
Right, and she didn't realize how much it was going to be everything was controlled.
Yeah. Yeah, like, so, yeah, they wanted to, push her in a certain direction musically and image-wise, which meant working with, like, multiple producers in the studio, and always pushing towards this certain, like, hit factory type outcome,
Yeah.
There's what she said in hindsight, so yeah. What do you have anything else on that? Like,
I mean, not really. Yeah. She was but that's how she got her start.
Yeah.
So the value's there for that.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be talking about her if she didn't kind of go through all that.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't be who she was today if she didn't go through these things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it helped her realize that she wanted something different.
Yeah.
And helped her learn that, just getting signed doesn't mean I'm going to be fulfilled.
Right. Yeah.
So, that's great that she went through that, got her name out there.
Yeah.
And the stuff they were hits.
Yeah.
Like she was signed, she went on tour.
Yeah.
People knew her name and stuff. It was a success.
Yeah. Yeah.
Music videos, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she did 2 albums under that kind of, what's the word?
Regime.
Under the under the regime. And so I guess she got out of the label somehow, some way, which I also wasn't sure exactly how that went down. I didn't get any info.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything, but it sounded like she got out. Not that the signing, like the contract ended. It seemed like she got out early.
Yeah, it seems like it. She did 2 albums, 2010, and then there was one called In Your Hands in 2013, which I listened to a bit of, and that's not the doo-woppy Amy Winehouse thing. It's more of like the Beyonce Destiny's Child type thing, which is, again, I feel contrived and not, I mean, she's a great singer. She does her thing really well. There's nothing wrong about these tracks, but knowing that she said in hindsight that she was working with multiple producers and she wasn't really doing what she wanted to do, she was just doing what the label wanted her to do. It's like not really authentic, like
totally. I think, I don't know. Yeah. Like if people like that vibe, then that music is going to be great for you.
Yeah.
But when I listen to it, it doesn't sound like authenticity to me.
No. Yeah.
It doesn't sound like inspiration and artistic creativity just overflowing out of these people who made those Doolittle albums.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like, we need to capitalize on this sound that's already successful.
Yeah. On
this vibe of these women singers.
Right.
That's already successful.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think she realized that too, like looking inward, like, I'm just kind of like, a placeholder, acting, doing what these people want me to do, and using my voice to engineer these things to sell. Like, I think she was creating more products rather than art.
Exactly, yeah. And now when you hear her speak, she's very more about authenticity from the heart, anti-commercialism, that's kind of her vibe right now.
Listen to her interviews, and she does sound very cool.
Yeah, I definitely.
She sounds down to earth.
Yeah.
She sounds like she, is introspective, and she just really wants to make awesome changes in the world. Yeah. And she said that explicitly.
Yeah.
Like she wants to help change the world, through her music.
Right.
For herself and make good things happen that way.
Yeah, I mean, and like she doesn't talk about, I mean, you can get when she's talking about her earlier career that there's not negativity, but she's being authentic about what it was about, right? Like we just said, the whole commercialism thing and that. So she doesn't really like shit on it in any way, kind of thing. I think she realizes the value in having done that and gone through it. But yeah, ultimately, I think she realized this isn't what she got into music for in the first place. This isn't what inspired her to write music when she was like really young, doing this type of stuff it's not the thing,
Yeah.
And so like you said, she got out this deal. I don't know how. I don't know if they would have signed her up for multi-album deals with a pop star sort of thing. I don't know if that works necessarily in that way. Like maybe it does. Because usually the horror story is you get signed for a 5-album deal and then you don't fulfill the 5 albums, but you're still locked into the contract and you can't release anything like outside of that because they've basically, you're locked into the deal and we're not going to release anything of yours. And that's happened to a lot of people. It's kind of fucked up.
And I don't know, like Kesha comes to mind. Okay. I think she was locked in a weird deal. Yeah. For a while and couldn't release stuff for like, I don't know, 5 years or something.
Right. Yeah.
And like you can't go to another label and release stuff. Like it's contractually, you're not allowed to legally.
Right.
And it's like, dang.
And like, I don't know what it is though, if it's just your name, because there's that story of Prince. That's how he got around not releasing stuff with Sony because he changed his name to a symbol and put out music that way, kind of thing. Like,
maybe that is the loophole that she did, and she was like,
drop the name.
It's a rebranding.
Exactly, yeah.
But actually, she's like, if I don't use Doolittle, I'm a new artist.
Yeah, it's a branding thing. It's like Nike. It's like, I'm going to release a shoe called something else. It's not Nike anymore.
Nikes with an S.
Exactly, yeah. I'm too close. You still get sued. But yeah, so she got out of that, and then basically 2018 is when her new, fresh approach under Eliza came out. A Real Romantic is that album. She talked about it, the time frame of when she like wrote and released this. It was like after, you know, Trump had become president, Brexit was like still raging kind of thing. And so she sort of framed it as like, you know, these feel like really negative times, like the world's going in the wrong direction type thing. And that's kind of like where her inspiration came from for these songs, but not to sort of like talk about this stuff in a negative way, but to sort of reframe a positive sort of outlook about it, I think. It's kind of what she said. While simultaneously tapping into what she really wanted to do musically. Like she said, experimentation in the studio, no one telling you what to do. You know, you can just explore completely what she wanted to do, like in the production as well and stuff like that.
She had a whole new perspective on life after the experience that she'd gone through. You know, about herself and about the outside world, and artistically she knew more what she wanted to do, and you know, also what she didn't want to do, which helps a lot of the time. Maybe you don't know exactly what you want to do or what you want to release, but at least you know some stuff that you don't want to do.
Exactly.
So so it was a great turning point for her. New energy, new vibes, good things happening. So that album, this is where I would start listening to Eliza right there.
She said she doesn't even listen to her first two albums. Doolittle anymore. So,
I'm not gonna either.
It's unlikely that I will. I'm not going to.
Only for historical documentation reasons. For review.
Purposes.
If we have to do our due diligence here. If we have to do it again in the future, I'll spin the record. But so I mean, start listening to that, A Real Romantic. And then she did another one, A Sky Without Stars.
Let's spin a track from that.
We haven't loaded up.
Abandon the Rule from Eliza. That album was called A Sky Without Stars. Like the city. That's kind of what the cover is, pretty much. Mm-hmm. The glowing lights of the city. You can't see anything in the sky other than the glow of the city.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
the street lights come on,
Yeah.
dim the shining of the first stars you see tonight, you know.
No. Is those lyrics?
I don't know.
Sounds like lyrics you were spitting.
Just said it. Now
Write
they're
that
lyrics.
down.
Yeah. What a chill song, you know? What a cool vibe.
Yeah, and just so sparse, understated. It feels to me musically like they could have gone somewhere, but they massive restraint.
Yeah, it wanted to.
There's like a little bit of like a sax in there, but it's like doesn't do a big crazy solo. It just goes.
Yeah. I wanted it to go somewhere though, like some chord changes
A little bit, yeah.
and like get a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, I feel like they could go a little bit more out there, but you know, I feel that's like it kind of leaves you wanting more in a way. I don't know if that's intentional, but like, I think, you know, just that whole understated thing, which I really love sometimes.
Kind of a tease.
Yeah, it's like you don't need. It's like we've heard what a sax could be in that type of song in loads of other songs.
Yeah.
But we haven't heard it like be understated like that kind of thing. Maybe, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah, they should have pushed it to the max. They should have brought in Tom York or something to help produce it.
Tom York. Tom York producing Eliza, that may be crazy.
Right?
I don't know if he's produced anyone, but he should.
Or even just Johnny Greenwood.
Johnny Greenwood, yeah.
Just since it's like a guitar song.
Yeah. Interesting you brought up those references. I do think about that now. That last song, a little bit of the winding, it's kind of a little
That's
bit
what I hear.
Tom Yorkie, that video where he had the hat on and stuff. And
It's like black and white and he's just like performance art, dancing, improv, whatever.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that.
Like that.
Eliza. I like that.
Yeah. So she's very much tapped into her heart now. She says heart a lot,
Right.
which is cool.
Yeah, and that, I mean, you could feel that music. It sounds way more real
Yeah.
and, you know, authentic and good.
Yeah. Yeah, she was asked, like, by this one guy, this interviewer, he did say the same thing, that he not to say that her older stuff was bad for him, but that he could definitely feel that this new music is way more authentic, you know. And then he also asked her, like, does she think she's alienated fans, kind of thing? And she said she doesn't think about it that way, which is cool. She said she had to do this anyway.
Hopefully she did alienate the people who like those other albums.
Separate the wheat from the chaff.
You don't want them.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. She said that it's interesting because she'll be out and people will come up to her in the street, and some people will like mention songs from her earlier career and some will mention stuff from her new career. She said the people that mention stuff from her new stuff don't even know that she released this other stuff.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. You know, so it's like, yeah, but ultimately she said that doesn't matter. You know, it's the same thing. One big lesson to learn is like, I mean, if you put a music out there, you don't own it anymore. You know, it's for the people, and they'll like it or hate it or do what they will with it, but you have no control over that and you have no say over that. And so that's how she looks at this with the fan base type thing. She doesn't look at it as separating listeners or anything like that. She's just like, people don't like my new stuff, fine, but this is what I need to do that comes from me. It's authentic. It's from my heart, it's from my soul.
Yeah, if she's on her own journey.
Exactly,
She's not on a journey for the listeners.
Yeah.
She's on a journey for herself. And if people want to come along, they can come. If they don't want to come along, then they can stay wherever they want to be.
Yeah. So this digression right now, but this is something because I've been researching a lot about social media and, you know, marketing and all that sort of stuff. And I came across like one idea and then something that someone else said. So Rick Rubin basically said, if you are trying to make music, like if you're trying to figure out who your audience is and make music for them, he said you're going to make bad art. It's just going to be bad. And then on the other side, when you see all of these like internet gurus talking about marketing and content, promoting yourself kind of thing, they always say start with the audience first. Work. It's like a marketing thing, like figure out who your demographic is and then make content for them. I feel like that is so marketing and that's so corporate and that's so like big record label mentality, and it completely goes against like doing what Eliza's doing and being authentic, you know, and just doing music, you know. I feel like we live in a world now where there is that sort of dichotomy of how do you promote yourself as an artist? Who's your audience? You know, all that stupid stuff, when we should just be forgetting about that musically and just making good music, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think there's a separation between like if you're doing art and if you're doing business.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's overlap, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, when in business, sometimes you want to find your target market.
Yeah.
And then build your, you know, marketing,
Yeah.
promotions and stuff around those specific criteria and the specific group of people.
Yeah.
But like you would never want to do that with your album.
No.
Like, who can I make an album for?
Exactly.
What would they like? Okay, I'm gonna make stuff catering to this one person or type of people.
But that's what the big labels do, right? You know, the people behind the Justin Biebers of the world. That is their outlook.
That's kind of the weird juxtaposition between artists and the business side of the music industry with like the labels and, you know, producers and stuff. Yeah. They're trying to market a product, create a product and sell it. And the artist is like, hey, I want an opportunity. I want some funding and a platform to grow. Yeah. And they kind of like try to work with each other, but it's always going to be a little bit of a struggle. And there's a lot of cool record labels and stuff and cool people in the music industry that realize that we're artists themselves and they want to help other artists be their true self and release good art.
Yeah.
But the greater, you know, majority of people in the music industry, just the big machine of the industry, you know, is just kind of cold and wants a good product to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes, you know, artists find themselves working as a cog in the machine. Like she found herself as Eliza Doolittle.
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of where she started and realized that it's not the way to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, and she says like now her priority is to make great music, amazing music. Like, and she says if she thinks about what she's doing, she doesn't create anything.
Right.
It just like comes, she's channeling, you know, this energy and vibes and that. And she said, yeah, a lot of these great songs that she's coming up with, they just come, she says she knows they come from someplace deep, but she can't quite explain it.
That's where it all comes from. Yeah. Dude, we're just receivers.
Yeah.
Tuning in.
Yeah.
To different channels.
Yeah.
And you gotta, when you're tuned in, you gotta let it flow out.
Yeah.
And that's where stuff comes from.
Yeah. So we're like in another age now of music, and you know, if we're trying to like do music professionally or full time or whatever, it's like, as an artist, I think releasing albums, if you're trying to do that professionally, you have to tune out all of the bullshit that goes with it. Like, you have to do this on Instagram, you have to do this, blah, blah, blah. You know, you need to tune all that out and but tune in to the energy that makes the art, right? You know?
Yeah, that's the hardest part sometimes.
Yeah, it's real hard. It's all about creating a space and environment for you to do that, I think. And Eliza mentioned lockdown as being excellent because she said she was able to just concentrate on making music. And even she said, I could hear the birds outside and I couldn't hear any traffic. And she said that made her heart settle, is what she said about that. Like, wow, that's
so nice.
That's a statement.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
that pretty much brings us up to the present.
Yeah.
No, she released that album in 2022.
Yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Or the latest one with the remix one?
Yeah, I think that
in 2023.
Let's do a quick check. Yeah, June, actually, a few days ago.
So that one just dropped.
June, like a week ago.
Yeah.
It's called Sketches and Remixes. I guess there's a lot of demos on there, and there's a few remixes of some of those tracks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think, is she playing? I think she might. Yeah, she's playing some shows. She's on tour in UK. Still got a lot of London shows coming up, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's just so great that she's, you know, doing what she wants musically.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
She's living her best life, being her best self.
yeah. And I think that's what we all need to do musically, strive for that authenticity
Yeah.
and find that creative inspiration and do it. It's always hard. I actually want to read this Rick Rubin book because I see him everywhere now, and he's like on different podcasts, and he has this whole book, right? The Art of the Creative Mind or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's about creativity and trying to tap into that sort of process.
He's like the ultimate guy that knows
Yeah.
that you're like just channeling ideas.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're in that flow state,
Yeah.
like I already said, I mean, I'm basically quoting him, you know, when I talk about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what, you know, I mean, and even he got it from, I think John Lennon said it a long time ago.
Right.
And I think I remember Rick Rubin saying that he didn't understand. He was thinking about it more of a business thing.
Yeah.
Like once you start a project, finish it,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
John Lennon was saying that. And Rick Rubin thought like, oh yeah, well, you should finish the project so you have something done.
Right.
So you can move on and make progress and create things and move on to the next thing as a business kind of perspective.
Yeah.
But then more recently, Rick Rubin like has been seeing it over the years. Like John Lennon was pretty much talking about the channeling of it. Like when something's flowing out of you, let it continue to flow.
Mm-hmm.
You might not get that same. You might not be tuned in the same way the next day. If you're like, oh, I wrote part of this song, but I'm gonna wait till next week to finish it.
Right.
You might not.
Yeah.
You might not be able to channel it the same way the next week.
Yeah. No.
So like,
Yeah.
create it while it's flowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rick Rubin, he's ultimate tastemaker.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny though, because I'm still reading the Anthony Kiedis book right now, Scar Tissue.
Oh yeah,
I keep putting it up and putting it down. It's a crazy book though.
yeah.
But,
He's crazy.
but it was funny how Anthony said at one point Rick Rubin was just like, he didn't get the socio-political lyrics that Anthony was writing, and Rick was just, can you just write songs about girls and cars? So he's gone from that perspective to being like the ultimate guru.
And now, he's. I mean, because he's been there, done that.
Exactly.
So he's learned.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I gotta let these things come out.
Right.
Not try to force things.
Yeah.
Or pretend you know what's the best, and then just I know how to make a good song. Write about this. Write about that.
Yeah.
Let things flow.
Let it flow.
We're all channeling and we're all flowing.
Yes.
And we just got to let it happen instead of, being a beaver and
Instead of tuning
creating
in and
dams.
copping out.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
all I got on Eliza.
Good one. Thanks, Aisha, for
Thanks,
suggesting
Aisha.
it.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Thumbs up. Like this video. Subscribe.
Smash that like
Smash that
button. But we appreciate the comments. We want to hear what you guys are talking about, what you guys are listening to.
Yeah.
And we want to know more. And
Yeah.
we like to, we're happy to open up these conversations
Yeah.
and throw us some more suggestions, because we're always looking for more ideas and artists to learn about.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to hit us up on any of the interwebs, on Instagram, we're at Roots to Grooves, Twitter, Roots to Grooves, YouTube at Roots to Grooves, TikTok at SIGNL Radio. And if you guys want to hit us up about anything specific or directly, hit us up at our email. Jay's got it for us.
Roots to Grooves at signalradio.com. SIGNL radio.com.
Push me, watch me fall in love in a way I didn't shame it took me so long. Yeah, now I'm yours completely, love. I'm in awe of how you heat me up. And the night comes for me to play your drum under the heat of the moon. The light shines deep, and I'm taken, and there's no way I could go back and see things the way I did. What the hell was I doing? Filled with wonder, totally gone. Gosh, it's a shame it took me so long. Baby, I'm right where I wanna be. Feeling closer to the mystery.
Roots to Grooves is a production of SIGNL Radio. For more music and independent culture, visit signalradio.com. That's SIGNL radio.com.